Christmas Eve. Courtroom, 3B. Vanessa wanted Harding Construction, my father's company. James leaned close. "You're sure?" "Give her everything," I said. I signed the house over. The cars. The business, with every file in it. Vanessa smiled. 17 minutes later, federal agents walked through those doors. Her scream echoed through the halls. If you're still here, you'll love what's next, so hit subscribe. I learned construction from my father over 26 years. Started at 17, carrying lumber, cleaning job sites. Worked every position before he died 5 years ago. Heart attack on a job site. I inherited Harding Construction and 33 years of honest work. The company employed 15 people. Danny Kowalski had been foreman for 19 years. My father hired him in 1986, the year he started the business. I kept detailed records, always had. My father taught me that documentation mattered more than talk. Every project got a binder: permits, inspections, receipts, time cards, daily logs. 33 years of files filled the warehouse, floor-to-ceiling metal shelving organized by project and date. Sundays, I woke at 5:30 a.m. for birdwatching, same precision I used on job sites. Observe, document, wait. James Whitfield handled my father's incorporation papers in 1986. 28 years of professional relationship. I married Vanessa at 32. Thought I'd found a partner who valued the work. For a while, maybe I had. She wanted things we couldn't afford. Luxury, SUV, designer clothing, weekend trips to places I'd never heard of. I provided a comfortable middle-class life in our subdivision home. Comfortable wasn't enough. My father used to say, "The foundation matters more than the facade." Spend 6 months on what nobody sees, and the building stands for generations. Cut corners on the groundwork, and the pretty exterior doesn't matter. Vanessa wanted the facade. 3 years ago, Vanessa started following lifestyle influencers. Started comparing our life to theirs. "Do you know what it's like telling people your husband owns a construction company?" she asked one night. They picture some guy in a hard hat. I looked down at my hands. Concrete dust in the knuckle creases. Riverside Medical Plaza, 3rd floor pour. That's what I am, exactly. She took over the bookkeeping 3 years ago. Said she wanted to help with the business. I gave her access to QuickBooks, bank accounts, insurance documentation, all of it. Company insurance premiums started climbing. More workers' comp claims. I reviewed each one. Accidents happen in construction. That's why we carry insurance. November. I was reviewing the Riverside Medical Plaza project binder before final inspection, cross-referencing material receipts against installation dates. Danny Kowalski's name. Injury claim, October 12th. Scaffolding fall. I pulled Danny's time card. October 12th, vacation Portland. His wife's birthday. I'd approved it 2 months earlier. I sat in the file room for an hour, staring at that discrepancy. Then I started cross-referencing. 3 weeks of investigation. Every insurance claim from the past 36 months against actual project documentation. 23 fraudulent claims. Total, $847,000. Workers allegedly injured on dates when time cards showed them at different job sites. Medical records for injuries that never occurred. Accident scene photos with metadata revealing they were staged, taken from our home office computer during hours when Vanessa worked alone on bookkeeping. I found her shadow accounting spreadsheet. Separate file tracking fraud proceeds. Offshore Caribbean bank account in her maiden name. $180,000 in luxury purchases funded by stolen insurance payouts. The SUV. The designer clothes. The weekend trips. All paid for with money stolen from my father's company. I didn't confront her, didn't ask questions. Just documented everything with the same precision my father taught me. April, I made anonymous submissions to the National Insurance Crime Bureau. Photocopies of time cards, insurance claims, medical records, photo metadata, everything cross-referenced and organized. 8 months of federal investigation while I went about my life. Vanessa had no idea. December 20th, I met with James, spread the evidence across his conference table. "What's your plan?" he asked. I told him. December 23rd evening. My mother Eleanor's house for Christmas dinner. The table where my father used to sit at the head, now occupied by my 71-year-old mother. Troy and his wife Rachel arrived with my niece Sophie, 13, and nephew Lucas, 10. The kids had made place cards. Lucas put mine next to Vanessa's. He still thought we were a normal family. Eleanor had started the turkey at dawn. Same recipe, 40 years running. Homemade rolls. The good china she only used for holidays. Photos of my father covered the walls at job sites, holding the first building model, his legacy watching us eat. Vanessa waited until dessert. "I'm taking the company," she said. "Rob and I are done." Eleanor's fork clattered against her plate. "The company has potential," Vanessa continued. "Luxury renovations, high-end developments. Not whatever this is." She gestured dismissively. "Your father built something for the 90s, Eleanor. I'm trying to save his legacy." Sophie stared at her plate. Lucas looked at me. "Are you still coming to my birthday?" Vanessa smiled. "Rob's good at following instructions. He'll sign the papers. I've earned this, 16 years watching him choose plywood and permits over me." Eleanor's shoulders shook. She pressed her napkin to her eyes. Troy's fork scraped against his plate. He set it down with too much force. Rachel reached across the table for Eleanor's hand. I said nothing, hands steady on the table. Blue-gray eyes watching everything. I already knew what I'd discovered in those files, already knew what would happen in 3 days. The numbers didn't lie, but Vanessa had, for 36 months. November, the previous year, the Riverside Medical Plaza binder open on my desk, Danny's time card clipped to the injury claim. I pulled 36 months of insurance claims. Every project file we had. First fraudulent claim, March, 3 years ago. Worker allegedly injured installing drywall. Time card showed him at a different site 15 miles away. Signed by 3 witnesses. Second claim, May, same year. Scaffolding accident. The project in question hadn't ordered scaffolding that month. Material receipts proved it. 3 weeks. Every evening, Vanessa thought I was reviewing bids. I was building a case. 23 claims. $847,000 stolen. Every claim filed from our home computer. Vanessa's login. Photos staged in our office. The metadata proved it. Average payout, $36,700 per claim. I found her shadow accounting spreadsheet buried in a folder labeled Household Budget 2019. Transaction logs that didn't match any household expense. Transfers to an offshore account opened in her maiden name. $180,000 withdrawn for luxury purchases over 36 months. The SUV, $62,000. Designer clothing, $48,000. Jewelry, $31,000. Weekend trips, $39,000. All funded by exploiting my father's company and the workers whose names she forged on fraudulent claims. I photographed everything, cross-referenced time cards against insurance submissions, documented the metadata on staged accident photos, built an irrefutable timeline proving pattern and intent. April, I made anonymous submissions to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, organized documentation showing pattern and intent. Federal investigators took 8 months building their case. December 20th, I met James in his conference room. Spread the evidence across his oak table. "You're going to give her everything," I said. "The house, the cars, the company, with all its files." James removed his glasses, cleaned them. "Your father trusted me with this company's legal foundation. By legally transferring all assets to Vanessa, she becomes the owner of 3 years of documented fraud evidence. Asset transfer documents are irrevocable once filed with the county recorder." Understanding dawned on his face. She'll own the evidence against herself. Exactly. Christmas Eve morning, 10:30 a.m., courtroom 3B. James leaned close. "You're sure? Your father trusted me to protect what he built." "Give her everything," I said. Vanessa smiled across the table. Richard Pembroke, her attorney, pushed the asset transfer documents forward. House, cars, Harding Construction with all files and records from the past 3 years. I signed every document without hesitation, my handwriting steady across each page. Transfer of ownership irrevocable upon filing with county recorder. Vanessa's signature joined mine at 10:30 a.m. She was eager, already planning her rebranding. Richard gathered the papers. I'll file these immediately. 10:34 a.m. James checked his watch. Documents filed with the county recorder's office. Vanessa legally owned Harding Construction and every file in its archive. She owned 3 years of evidence proving her own crimes. 10:45 a.m. Vanessa laughed. First thing Monday, I'm rebranding. Harding Luxury Developments has a better ring. 10:47 a.m. The courtroom doors opened. Agent Lisa Moreno walked in. 3 federal agents behind her, boxes in their hands for evidence seizure. Vanessa Harding. Agent Moreno held up credentials. FBI. You're under arrest for 23 counts of insurance fraud and tax evasion. Vanessa went still. What? We have warrants to seize all assets of Harding Construction, which you now legally own, including 3 years of fraudulent insurance claims filed from your home computer. Richard Pembroke's briefcase clicked shut. He was through the doors before Vanessa turned around. Vanessa looked at me, understanding finally breaking through. You knew. I said nothing. Her scream echoed through the courthouse halls as federal agents read her rights. James cleaned his glasses one final time, smiled. Agent Moreno read the charges. 23 counts of insurance fraud, tax evasion for unreported income, potential 30-year federal sentence. We've been investigating for 8 months, she explained, based on anonymous documentation, submissions proving pattern and intent. Vanessa's voice rose. I don't know what you're talking about. All 23 fraudulent claims were filed from your home office computer. Your digital fingerprints on every submission. Medical records for injuries that never occurred. Accident scene photos staged using your home IP address. 2 agents carried boxes past us. Outside, a tow truck waited for the luxury SUV. That's my car, she said. Purchased with fraud proceeds, Agent Moreno replied, subject to asset forfeiture, along with $180,000 in designer clothing, jewelry, and other items funded by fraudulent insurance payouts. The Caribbean bank account in your maiden name has been frozen. Assets will be recovered. Danny Kowalski stood in the doorway. That's my name on the claim. But I never filed it. I was in Portland that week. My wife's birthday. His voice quiet but firm. 19 years as foreman with Harding Construction. His reputation exploited for Vanessa's greed. Asset forfeiture proceedings will return Harding Construction to Robert Harding as the victimized party, Agent Moreno said. The company and all its records will be released from seizure once our investigation concludes. Vanessa tried one more time. Rob, tell them this is a misunderstanding. I looked at her, said nothing. The trial was scheduled for June. Vanessa's lawyer called in May. She'd take the plea deal. 12 years, federal facility, 3 states away. I regained the company through asset recovery. 15 employees kept their jobs. Insurance premiums returned to normal as fraudulent claims were voided. Riverside Medical Plaza, where I'd found Danny's name on that first fake claim, finished on time, under budget, led to 3 new contracts worth $4.1 million. My father's company survived. The foundation held. If this resonates, drop a like and tell me what you think. 1 year after the courthouse, I stood at my father's grave. Eleanor joined me, Troy and Rachel. Sophie, 14 now, carrying her purple journal. Lucas, 11, carrying a sketch pad filled with blueprints for buildings he'd design someday. A cedar waxwing called from the trees. Right on schedule. Your father would be proud, Eleanor said, her hand steady on my shoulder. Troy no longer carried guilt about choosing emergency medicine over construction. Different paths, same values. Both of us honoring our father's legacy in our own ways. Sophie wrote every day now. Her therapist said documentation helped her process the divorce. Lucas showed me his latest drawing. Medical office building, structural notes in the margins. Like the Riverside project, he said, but bigger. Harding Construction's walls displayed 34 years of completed projects now. The company my father started in 1986 survived attempted theft, documented fraud, and federal investigation. 3 new contracts. 15 employees with secure jobs. Reputation restored through honest work. My father used to say, build the foundation right, and it'll hold when everything shakes. The foundation held. I had work Monday. Riverside Phase 2. The foundation poor.